What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about a story that kind of started to break yesterday, and that is Pooh Shiesty. So, Pooh Shiesty was arrested on, well, at least the news came out Wednesday, I believe. And now what is happening is it's revealed exactly why he was arrested. So, apparently, he is under the accusation right now that he robbed and kidnapped Gucci Mane because he is signed to Gucci Mane's 1017 label. So, what they are alleging is that he kind of essentially invited some executives to a Dallas music studio where he then, at gunpoint, and this is all alleged, forced them to sign him out of his deal with them, out of his contract, and then proceeded to rob them. The Apparently, it's also not just Pooh Shiesty, but Big 30. But obviously, Pooh Shiesty's like kind of the bigger name, so he's the one that is currently at the top of the headlines. And then they proceeded to post pictures online with the stuff they stole, which included like some Rolexes, jewelry, and cash. And this has obviously just been going crazy online because he just got out like late last year. And, he ended up coming out with a first day out that did pretty well given all the circumstances, being, he went away when hip hop was still like going crazy, like a lot of guys were getting on. And then he disappeared, obviously, after going to jail. And so, like, just even with all that, like the genre not really being as on top as it once was, as far as just like the commercial performance, on and also combined with being gone for that long with the work that he had at that point. So it did pretty well, I would say. I don't know if he ever followed up with another music release after that. Not one that I can think of. If he did, let me know what it is down below. But yeah, so he gets out, drops first day out to some fairly good reception. And then, 6 months, I think, is how long he's been out. Like, he's already going back. And so people are just kind of obviously making fun of him and calling him dumb. And well, that's part of the argument. You have one side of people being like, dude, what are you doing, actually? And then on the other side, you have people saying, like, hell, I thought you liked when they lived their raps. Like, this is what y'all wanted. He just doing what he talks about. And I thought that was just so dumb of the few people I did see talking about that, because first off, that's just not true. When you say you guys want, no, nobody wanted that. You know how I know that? Gunna. What was Gunna talking about before he went to jail? And then he comes out and, obviously the snitching thing. And I don't even think people are like, nah, Gunna didn't snitch. I think people are like, no, I think Gunna snitched. And he still goes number one with multiple albums. Like, clearly no one, like, most people do not care. Is there a vocal minority online who might say something? I'm sure you'll be able to find some idiot on Twitter spouting any given opinion or point of view. But for them to act like that's what everybody wants, that's what everybody's like, no, you got to live your raps. That is not true. You know how else I know that's not true? Lil Tecca. Lil Tecca's been 100 about never living out most of his raps. So I just thought that was so ignorant for them to be like, oh, this is what y'all want. No, nobody wants that. Nobody really, but when I say nobody, I mean like the masses, like the mainstream. If the song's good, it's good. They do not care if you're living out your raps. Don't get me wrong, there is a bit of like a line to it. If you're a Lil Mabu or like one of those dudes who's clearly just, wearing it like a skin, that is when people really start to be like, okay, man, like get the hell out of here. But like for a guy like Pooh Shiesty, if he didn't do this, nobody would be like, well, I thought you rapped about that. Like, why you letting him play you like that? So yeah, like that's just such a dumb opinion, in my opinion, because first off, all of this is alleged still at this point. And as far as the contract thing goes, I feel like that's a he said, she said. Given the amount of cameras and like just things like that in today's world, maybe there is some more evidence and stuff that, implicates him of having done that. But it feels like the biggest reason he got caught was, one, he had an ankle monitor on. So, they had tracking on him the whole time. And then they're posting pictures with the stuff they stole, flaunting it. Which it's like, dude, yeah, like, what'd you think was happen? You thought they were just going to see that while you're still under, like restrictions and be like, nah, that's cool, man, and then like do nothing. Like, no, they're not gonna let you make them look dumb. And also, just yeah, that's the terms of your agreement. You violated them. They don't care about the music part. They don't care about your career. And let's be real. Like I said, I don't think he even dropped really anything after first day out. Maybe I just was sleeping on him and I wasn't paying attention enough. But like, yeah, like you had really nothing going on for you at this point. Like you could have just continued to try and like push the music, and I think you probably could have ended up in a fairly decent spot, all things considered. And now, although these things are alleged, I mean, I don't see this going his way. I don't see him, not going back to jail. If he does, hey, hats off to his lawyers. And once again, these are alleged, but like you're posting photos with things that probably have receipts, maybe insurance policies on them. Like, you think dudes are just walking around with Rolexes that cost that much? Like, I mean, they could bump into something and that thing might break. Like, they probably have things in place that would prove those specific items you're flaunting belong to them. Like I said, the contract thing specifically, I feel like that would be he said, she said at that point. I mean, how would you prove you did it under gunpoint? Under, like, I mean, granted, I don't see how you would sign that and then a lie about that immediately after. I guess that could still happen. Maybe you're like, actually, never mind, screw you. But I just found this hilarious that all the people online, and I say all, like I said, I'm sure it's a vocal minority that are like, no, you guys wanted him to live his raps. Like, that is just so proven to be not true from most people. Like, as far as like having success, like losing out on people that feel like you're not living your raps, that's probably a very, very small amount of people that's not even worth like catering to at that point. Because look where it got him trying to cater. If he was doing that, maybe this was nothing to do with, living out raps. It's probably just him being kind of dumb in the moment. But yeah, now it led you to probably going back to jail. And I'm pretty sure with the agreement he was under, this type of violation, I think he might go back for life. I'm not entirely positive, but he's definitely going away for a little bit, at least until the trial's over. I mean, or whatever happens. But let me know what you guys think down below. Like I said, I feel like this is a small minority, but maybe you guys think differently. Maybe I'm the one who's misinformed. But from my perspective, it just feels like nobody would have cared about that. So let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys for listening. If you have, I will see you all later. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Peace.